Welcome back to the 5Ws, where I walk you through the who, the what, the when, the where, and most importantly, the why of my latest and greatest T206 pickup in my pursuit of a complete 520 card T206 set. In today's pickup, we're talking about Jimmy Hart, but is this really the Jimmy Hart that you see on Baseball Reference? We'll get to that here in a second. But first, welcome back to my channel. My name is Chris, otherwise known on X and Instagram as at CRT_sportscards. And this as well is the best channel here on YouTube for T206. So if you're not subscribed, watch this video and give me the opportunity to have you hit that subscribe button at the end of this video. But let's get into it. Let's get into the details around Jimmy Hart. Now, first and foremost, now that we know who the player is, this being Jimmy Hart, asterisk, hold that thought for a second. What is this card? This is T206 number 305 of 520, moving my set to 58.6% complete. But this is an Old Mill Southern Leaguer. This is part of my set that I've kind of maybe ignored, not treated with the best care over the past maybe 6 or 7 months. This is one of my first pickups since the beginning of the year after I picked up Shag Shaughnessy to end 2024. But this is card number 12 of 48 in that subset. So my Old Mill Southern League set is now 25% complete. And as a reminder here, this is that unique Old Mill back that is only found on the Southern Leaguers. Now, when and where did I pick up this card? This one, again, is from REA's February auction, which you know by now arrived at my house on March 1st. So we're now over 30 days of ownership of this card, and I'm now just getting around to sharing it. I've got a couple of more from that auction win, but this one is my lone Old Mill Southern Leaguer from this set. But why did I get this card, and what makes this card not really Jimmy Hart? The first reason I picked this card up is, number one, very, very clean back, which you just saw. This is my prerogative. This is my goal when it comes to my 520 card set, which I started with my Polar Bear set, having nice, clean backs of the card. Yes, there is a little bit of a paper loss there on the front right above his hand, but to me, that doesn't matter. What matters is the back of the card. Now, number two here, scarcity. When you look at the average population count for PSA on Old Mill Southern Leaguers, you're looking right now at about 127 copies graded of the 48 copies. This one has 112 graded copies. So it's right about 12% lower than the average. And when you add up all of the 48 graded PSA cards, this falls in the top 10 or maybe the bottom 10 when it comes to amount of cards graded. So as well here, as a side note, this is now, maybe not really a side note, this is now my highest graded T206 Old Mill Southern Leaguers in a 2. I did pick it up for $156. And the reason why I bought the 2 versus the 1, which is my goal of this set, is because of that scarcity number. Now, I wish I could share with you the average spend of my Southern Leaguers because I purchased some of my 12 cards 4 years ago, 5 years ago. I don't have the exact records. I have a couple of records of my most recent purchases, my Shag Shaughnessy, now of course this Jimmy Hart, but I don't have the average spend. Maybe I can go back and figure out where I'm at before I share my next Old Mill Southern League pickup. But now, the question you have on your mind, I kept saying this is not Jimmy Hart. This is not Jimmy Hart as who you think it is. So if you look up Jimmy Hart in Baseball Reference, you're going to find a major league player who played baseball right around this exact time. Now, who this actually is Hub Hart. Now, Hub is his nickname. So if you want to look up this player's stats, you have to look up Hub Hart on Baseball Reference. But now, his actual name is James Henry Hart, and he goes by Jimmy. I really wish they didn't use Jimmy Hart on the flip, because when I looked up this player at first, I looked up Jimmy Hart's stats, and that guy was a menace. He was punching umpires, getting arrested on the diamond. I recommend researching Jimmy Hart. But who is Hub Hart? What is the journey of Hub Hart the player as a T206 player. Number one, he was regarded at one time as the greatest college football player in America. He is apparently in the Georgetown Hall of Fame when you look up some information around Hub Hart. But when you look up his baseball statistics, he played just 57 games in the major leagues. He played from 1905 through 1907 as a backup catcher for the Chicago White Sox. As pictured in his Montgomery uniform, we are looking at that from 1908 through 1910. His major league career was really uneventful. His average was 213. He had a negative .5 WAR, and he only had 27 hits through his entire career. But the interesting part around his career with the White Sox is he backed up a fellow dentist. Yes, Hub Hart was a dentist in the offseason during his major league career. Now, Hub Hart lived many, many years past his very minor major league career. He lived until 10/10/1960, passing away on my mom's 10th birthday, but him passing away at the age of 82 years old. Regardless of his career, even as minor or major as it could have been on the football field, which is where his nickname originated from, being in the central of all of the action, the simple fact is this: we talk about Hub Hart because he was lucky enough to be immortalized on a baseball card, and for that, we will always know about Hub Hart.